In the late 70s, a man was living in Vancouver with his wife and two kids. He was his band's leading drummer and singer. They were struggling to make it, and he was drowning in debt. Then, their song cracked top 50, which, if you don't know, is a massive moment for any band. But it can mean one of two things. Either it's a signal you've officially made it and all your dreams have come true, or it's your peak, and it's nothing but downhill from there. This man decided to bet on the first one. He took the money, bought a house bigger than he could afford, but he got lucky. The place needed some work, so it came pretty cheap. Then the band took an even bigger risk, which was a year-long tour across Europe, Japan, and the US. So he began renovations on the new house, kissed his wife and kids goodbye, and left, not knowing if he'd ever come back to it. Somewhere on that tour, things with his wife started falling apart, as you could imagine. Near the end, she told him that she was having an affair with the painter he'd hired to fix up the house. And she took the kids and left. He told the band that he had to go and try and win her back. He told her that if they want, they can continue to tour without him, and he completely understood. But he had to go and do this. He had to go and get back the woman he loved. They agreed to a 3-month hiatus so he could try and win her back. He tried, but failed. And he was forced to return to the house he thought would prove that he made it. And instead, he had to sit alone. Empty rooms, no love, no family, no noise. Just freshly painted walls staring back at him. A friendly little reminder of exactly what he'd lost. Then something shifted. You see, he realized he could use this. It was his lightning on top of the mountain moment. He bought a recording studio right there in the house, and he started writing like he never had before. And it's funny, he actually grabbed that painter's invoice. And I don't know if he did it on purpose or if it was just a stroke of sheer luck, but he flipped it over and wrote the lyrics to his new song. What was that new song, you're asking? In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. This launched his solo career and made him a worldwide superstar. See, we have to understand that bad moments can turn good. Good moments can turn great. Sometimes all it takes is a little ferocity and the right framing. Phil Collins didn't choose the affair. He didn't plan cutting the big tour short or the timing of the affair and all of it. No. He didn't choose to return to an empty house. Life does that part for you sometimes, whether you're ready or not. The only thing he actually controlled were his emotions and what he did afterward. See, most people don't lose in the moment when life hits them. They lose in the 15 minutes after. The part where they get to decide whether this becomes a story about what happened to them or a story about what they built out of it. To choose to be the victim or hero of their own story. That's the difference between the two guys sitting in the exact same house. One of them writes In the Air Tonight. The other one stays sad in it. Same walls, same silence, same invoice, same situation. The event isn't your story. What you do after is the story. 27,000 days. That's what we get if we're lucky. And for the most part, you don't get to pick what happens to you in them, but you always get to choose how you handle it. Do you give up, grab your ball, and go home? Cry about your problems, hoping that someone will solve them for you? If you do, you're never going to have what you say you want. You have to sometimes happen to life. And yes, life will happen to you. But it doesn't mean you can't fight back. You can't do what you want to do. Life happening to you is just part of the story. See, no one wants a story when it's, I just walked down my door and there was the gold. Like, no, that's not what anyone would ever want. That sucks. A story has to have problems, has to have a villain, has to have a hero. And in the story of our lives, we get to choose to either be the hero or be the villain. We're the hero if we let our circumstances not define us, but allow us to propel ourselves forwards. We become the villains if we allow our circumstances to stop us. Now, once again, we have a decision to make. We can either be like Phil Collins and use our unlucky situations, our downs, our problems for greatness. Now, while you might not be able to sing like Phil Collins or play the drums like Phil Collins, I'm sure you have talents that you could take from the bad moments in your life and make them great. But it's a daily decision. And just like every single thing we do in life, come with practice. It's going to suck. It's going to be tough. But you know that. So go and attack it every single day.